Hey everyone, Psycho here again. Now today is a special video because it's the 500 subscriber video and we are doing a really good one because we are going to build a gaming PC out of nothing but e-waste. Stay tuned. Alright, so I want to go over a couple rules with this challenge. Mainly I have two things. The first thing that we are going to go over is I can't use any e-waste that I previously collected over the last couple years. So all the motherboards I've gotten, power supplies, RAM sticks, and I have quite a few to this point. I mean, I got shelves full of memory sticks. All that stuff I cannot use. It has to be new stuff that we get from here on out. So that's the first rule. The second rule is the computer has to be able to do two things. One, I have to be able to load Windows 7, whether it be 32-bit or the 64-bit version. Doesn't matter, I have both, so that's doable. The other thing is it has to be able to game something. Granted, this is e-waste. It's not going to play AAA titles from today's date. If it did, it probably would only do it at like 2 frames a second. So I picked a really old game, and that is Call of Duty World at War. For this, I believe a half gig graphics card should be able to play this fairly well. I remember when I had a GTS 880 or 8800 or something like that. It played this actually fairly well, I think 40-50 frames. So as long as we can get something like that, this should work great. So those are the two rules. It's pretty simple, it's pretty easy, but you gotta remember, it's whatever gets thrown away is what we're gonna work with, so I don't know how this is gonna work. But let's take a run over to the e-waste drop-off and we'll see what we can get on the first run. Alrighty, we're here at the e-waste drop-off, and we're just gonna see what we can find. Nice gigabyte motherboard. However, there's no CPU on it. Could be something. Oh, why couldn't that be open? You got a power supply. Nice. We got another motherboard here with a CPU, which is nice. It's got an internet card, which I don't really care for. We'll probably take this. What's we got here? What's this? Ooh, what is this? NVIDIA something. But that is a graphics card. I'm not sure what it is. But we're going to take that. Some batteries. Hard drive that's all been smashed. Got a monitor or a TV. And there's another computer under here that we're going to have a quick look at. What the fuck is that? I don't know what that is, but something. Oh, there's a little laptop. That's no good to us. Yeah, we got some goodies in there too. So we'll take that. And there's another laptop underneath that we probably will take. Oh, keyboard stuff too. Anyways, I think that's a good start. We got a power supply. Graphics card, we got a CPU motherboard, and possibly some other stuff. Alright, I'm going to gather this stuff up and we'll see what we got when we get home. Alright, so I showed you guys where the e-waste drop-off is. I did pick up some stuff on the first trip. Due to the magic of video, we've gone many more times since then, and now I have actually everything I need. So I didn't take videos of it because a lot of times it was just me finding like a couple sticks of RAM and it wasn't really interesting, so I didn't film it. But I have everything here. We're going to go over it now. So the first thing I'll show you is this PC here. This just says that it had a Intel Celeron D processor. It had half a gig of RAM, DDR RAM at that, 160 gig hard drive. Basically nothing worth talking about. So it's got some wires and just some crap here. Internet card, an old school one, which is no good. And then the motherboard and stuff inside. It is a P4GVLA, and one thing, like, it does have a nice, does have a CPU with it, but this is an older board. It has the IDE pins. There's no SATA, and there's nothing here for a graphics card. So this motherboard is out. It's no good to us. Another thing I showed on the trip, we did get a power supply. Nothing special there. This is probably like it's a 250 watt power supply, so it's going to be bare bones minimum. We did pick up some more RAM. This is DDR2. This is a 2 gig stick, which hopefully this is what we get to use, because that's probably going to be the best that we find. This is the original DDR, and that probably is too. So hopefully that's what we go with. A 2 gig stick will get us started at least at some point. Moving on to this PC. This one was chock full of hard drives. Now I've gone through some of them already. There was a lot of drives like this, and it just happened to be the older IDE style, which we will not be using. I don't like those. And we did get one good one, that's the SATA connectors. This is an 80 gig drive. I've tried it, it does work. So if nothing else, we do have a hard drive to use. Now, I don't want to break anything. I don't think there's anything in here worth breaking. Though it is pretty heavy. So this PC here, this also got a Celeron D processor, the same exact one actually. Yeah, 340, so two of the exact same processors, go figure. Half gig of RAM, 80 gig hard drive, some CD stuff, basically nothing worth talking about. It was Windows XP, so this is a pretty old setup. But we'll have a look anyway, see what we get. Alright. So, sorry. Basically, we got another hard drive. It's IDE, so it's useless to us. All the CD drives and stuff, again, is the old style. No room for a graphics card. And it's got the same one, and it's actually the same board, a P4GVLA. So we got two of the same stuff. Okay, that's kind of coincidence, but this is going to be no good to us. So we'll move on. So far we have basically a hard drive we can use and a power supply we can use. I did get a monitor, which I wasn't sure. I haven't tried it yet. I don't know if it works. But what is this anyways? It's an AL1916WA. No idea what it is, what it runs for pixels. But that's our monitor. Hopefully it works. We also got a keyboard. Pretty simple. Hopefully again that works. It's a USB one, so it's a bit newer. Alright, and then I got some loose stuff here. So we got this graphics card here. This is a Asus A9600 XT. So if I'm not mistaken, this is a little bit better than the first graphics card I've ever got, which was the 8800. So hopefully this works, and if it does, this will run World at War. So we got that. We did get this one here. If that one doesn't work and this one does, then perfect. It doesn't really matter. This is an NVIDIA card. I don't know exactly what this is because it doesn't really say. But I'm going to assume it's less powerful, where it's just the normal quiet heatsink as opposed to one with a fan, but we'll test them, see which one works. So we got a couple graphics cards, that'll get us started. Here is that board that we got. Now, I'm going to assume that this is an aftermarket board and does have some good stuff on it. One thing, it does have the SATA ports, which is one thing we need. It does have a graphics card port. We need that as well. And it's got a couple other ones and a smaller one. I don't know what those are, PCI Express ports, whatever. But the only thing is, we probably won't have a CPU to run it. As far as the pins on it, come on. The pins, yeah, one of the pins are bent. This might not work either. This might be a no-go, guys. We might be able to bend it over a tiny bit just to fix it, but I have my doubts. But we got this. If it works, it works. If not, oh well. So then we got this computer. This is actually a Cooler Master case, so this is most likely going to be the case we're going to use. What has it got here? XP Home Edition, so it's a bit older. It's got some leaves and shit growing out of it. It has a Pentium dual core inside, and it's got some decent stuff. Of course, it's got screws like this. This one might be, hopefully it'd be a little bit better. It might have something here. Hopefully it don't have a fucking tree growing in it. Okay. This is interesting. So, we got a loose heatsink. I don't know why that's out. We do have the CPU, which is a great plus. Another thing, we already have a graphics card in it. I don't know what it is, but it looks pretty nice actually. Let me get the screwdriver out. We'll have a quick look. This one might be the winner. Oh. Where's the little tabby thing? Uh-oh. I can't... Oh, there it is. There we go. Some of those are tricky. Alright, so this... I'm just trying to look here. It does have a little port there to connect two cards together. What is this? It does not say. That's always convenient. But if I have to make a guess, it's probably... Jeez, it's got an HDMI port on it. It's nice. I don't know. I'm going to assume it's probably like a 9000 series of something. But without any like prior knowledge of what the hell this is, I have no idea. But this probably looks like it could be a winner. So we got 3 graphics cards that are potentially good. And I'm not sure on that CPU. It could be something good. Power supply is... what is this? It doesn't really matter, but... I got Thermal Master 350, so I assume that's a 350 watt power supply. We'll keep that too. We do have some SATA ports, which is a must need. We do have the graphics card port, obviously, because we just took it out. I don't know what the CPU is. We'll clean that off, figure that out later. It does have a hard drive. We might change that out, but all in all, I think this might be our winner, because most of this stuff is already here. We just need to take it all apart, clean it up, put it back together, and yeah, this could be it. Moving on, we do have more. So this is the last PC that I took. This is a pretty scrapped down PC, but it does have a motherboard. It's an M2N68LA. Does have a graphics card port. some SATA ports. It's got the CPU in it, though I don't know what it is. And it does have an internet card, which is irrelevant. And some IED stuff if you need to use that, but I don't think any of this will be good for us. I don't think we'll use any of this. So the last thing we're going to show you is a DVR. Now, I love collecting these old DVRs because a lot of people throw them out, they don't keep them, and inside is usually a hard drive. Now, sometimes they're better than others, it just depends. As long as you're careful not to smash them, you'll be fine. But as you can see, a nice hard drive. The last one of these I've opened up, it had a 500 gigabyte Western Digital Green, which I love those drives. I got a 3 terabyte Western Digital Green. It's in my computer now, and that 500 gig is in there as well. And I use it basically to archive my gaming videos. And I don't need the space, so like I say, it's great for just putting stuff like that in, big files that take up normal stuff. Now, try to do this without breaking anything. You want to take the connectors off first, because this is short. When you pry it up, you'll break them off. And it's very easily done, so don't do that. And then this side. Now you can pry it up a little bit. It's one. Hopefully it's a Western Digital drive or something really good. Oh, we dropped it. What is that? Is it Toshiba? Something. 1 terabyte. Nice. Wow, that is a find. Nice. Like I say, sometimes they could be anything, but I am actually kind of impressed. A 1 terabyte. Now, I'm just going to hold the drive so she don't fall. There we go. Let's hope everything comes out good. There. All the pins are intact, which is great. Small board. But yeah, look. I don't know if you guys can see that. Where is that? Right there. 1 terabyte. That is really, really lucky. So our PC now gets an upgrade from a lonely old 80 gigabyte drive to a 1 terabyte drive. Awesome. Awesome. Alright, so quite a few things have changed since the last bit of this video. I had an issue with this computer here, the Cooler Master, that we were going to use. Everything else was ready, but the heat sink was broke and I wasn't able to fix it. I just don't have a clip like that. So I said, okay, no big deal, I'll just switch it out for another one. This one's an AMD, so it won't work. This is a different style Intel, so that wouldn't work. There's another Cooler Master, but way smaller, so that wouldn't work. And then I had another one here, and that didn't work either. So I took a break from this video, and I just kind of kept checking the e-waste or whatever, see what I could find. And then I came across this big tower, monster, whatever you want to call it. And inside it had this heatsink. Now this is actually a really nice one with the copper heat pipes. But believe it or not, that will actually work in place of that. I just need to get the bracket and everything out with it. Also with this computer, we got another hard drive, which is a Western Digital Blue with 320. So I'm going to use this drive. The 1 terabyte that I got out of the DVR is great, but I want to keep that for myself because it's still usable for everyday use. This here is, well, like the 320 is a little bit smaller, but it's good enough for this video. So we're going to use this. Another thing that was in this computer was lots of RAM sticks. I believe that they probably came with these 1 gig sticks, which is these two. And then they got some of this Kingston memory, which is 2 gigs. So there was 6 gigs of RAM in this computer. So we're going to use this here. So if we have to use like a 32-bit operating system, these 4 gigs will max us out, that's what we want. We might use this CPU if it is better than the one we got in the Cooler Master. I haven't checked it yet, so I don't know, but we'll probably do that. In case you're wondering why I don't use this tower, I mean it's huge and it's heavy and whatever. It is, you know, the SATA ports and whatnot. I don't know what this is all about, where it comes down to like a little slot card of its own for the hard drives. But just a big bulky computer that I don't really want to deal with. And I don't know what's going on with the graphics card thing here. This one has integrated graphics. So I'm not going to bother with it. It is what it is, but we'll use the parts out of it. So we got to get that in, see if it works. This hard drive does work. I've already tried it. The RAM. Another thing I found was another graphics card. Now this is the newer style, but this is a Radeon 9250 128 megabyte DDR1. So this would probably work too, but the other one's still better, so we'll keep that for a backup. There's just some other hard drives. Like if you're a young person watching my channel and you want to get into like computer parts and stuff, but you don't have the money to go out and buy stuff, eWaste will give you pretty much everything you need and more. Like this is probably a dozen trips that I went to. Now, granted, these are all the older IDE style, but I do occasionally get SATA drives, and like you've seen, I've already pulled a 1 terabyte drive. So you can always get lots of parts. Like this is other stuff that's relevant. But you can get that, like internet cards if you want to scrap. Like you just get a big lot of everything. So now we're going to get to what I'm going to use for a case and stuff. The plan is, because we got this case here, and this is a little bit nicer because it got like that, a nice little skull on the side. This case actually looks really good, and it's got more space in it than this one over here. So we're going to gut everything in this, and probably not use any of it because it's this style, which I'm not using. But what we're going to do is take everything out of this one. So we'll use the motherboard, CPU, we'll switch out the RAM, switch out the hard drive. We'll probably keep this power supply and graphics card, and we might switch out that CPU with the other one, I don't know yet. And we'll put everything from here into this one, and that will basically get us started. I'll try to get this mess of wires figured out, what the hell is going on here. Personally, all I need is for a USB port to work. As long as I can get that, then we should be able to install Windows and whatnot. The only other thing is I got to get a CD drive for it. This one is the older style, so I think I have one of those here. I don't know if this one is it or not. No, that's an older style IDE. I may have to dip into something. I don't know. That one might be one. Okay, never mind. That's got a SATA drive right there. So perfect. We'll take the CD drive out of that as well, so that way we can play World at War. So I'm going to get started on that and start putting this together, and I'll do updates as I go. Alright, so I got everything stripped down. This is the motherboard we're going to use. So this one is the original CPU. It is from 06. It is an E8200 at 2.66 gigahertz, dual core. And this is the one that we took out of the big tower, and that is an 05 E4600 2.4 gigahertz dual core. So this one is better, so we'll set this one aside. It is a good spare if we do need it, but hopefully we won't. The only other thing, we're going to swap this RAM out. This is what I was originally going to go with, and that was 3 gigs. And we're going to remove that for the 4 gig kit. The only other thing is, this is the backing plate for the that cooler here. It does line up, though I wish I could cut like this little square out of this big case because it's like a little unnecessary. So I was able to get the heatsink mounted. Pretty cruel job, but it did fit and it did mount. However, a huge problem, it doesn't actually touch the CPU. So I thought about grinding those ends down and then trying to like grind it down around the capacitor. But eventually I just said, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna look for something else. So this here is useless. But I managed to come across this board with this heatsink that will work, and is a nice aftermarket one, copper heatsink. I got this out of a garbage bag at the e-waste dump. It came with a Pentium 4 processor, which has a good speed of 3 point, what is that, 3.4? Or is that 3 point, I think it's 3.4 gigahertz. Anyways, and this one here is 2.66, but according to this website that I checked out, I'll leave the results right here, it says that this one's still better. So I don't know how that is, but it is. So we're going to use this CPU, and I think like now I have everything I need. This CPU, this is DDR2 RAM, which is what I was originally going to go with. Both these boards are DDR2. However, I managed to find this computer on New Year's. It didn't have the side cover, so it kind of sucks because it's kind of a all-in-one unit that we could have just used. But it has a Cooler Master power supply, which is a 460. Not exactly sure if that's what it will do, but say 400 watt power supply, which great, perfect, Cooler Master, good stuff. And it's got the heat sink that I need for the LGA 775 socket, which is what those two are. But the one main difference with this board is it's actually a DDR3 board. So it is, you can see it down there. So it does use different RAM. Now, newer technology is always better, so obviously we're going to go with the DDR3 board. And we got, what do we got here? A 2 gig stick, and I think this one's also a 2 gig stick. So we got 4 gigs of RAM. However, I found like one of these pre-built pieces of crap computers that I think it was like a Pavilion or something. It didn't even have a power supply, it was that shitty. But it did have one stick of DDR3 4 gig RAM stick. So my hopes is to use this stick in here and use 6 gigs of RAM. It may work, it may not, hard to say yet, and go from there. So I'm going to pull this the heat sink off, see what's under here for a CPU. If it's better than what we got now, then we'll go with that. I'm going to pull the board out of here, pretty much everything, and then set it all up and see if we can get this all to post. I'm going to leave the hard drive out for now. I think I'm going to leave the graphics card out for now, just in case if we do have a problem, I can eliminate a couple things before anything goes on. And yeah, we'll go from there. Alright, so far so good. I was able to switch the CPUs. The one that was in this blue one was a Intel 06 E50800. I'll leave the stats for that up here on the screen as well. So we got the 8250, no, the E8200 is in this now, and we put this bigger copper heat sink in. This was the stock one. Big difference. I haven't done anything power wise yet, but I'm going to plug everything in and we're going to see if she spins up. Alright, so I have finally everything hooked up. Basically, well, the monitor is on. It does make a lot of noises, which I can understand why they threw it out now. But there is power to the monitor. It does somewhat work, I think. So we got that hooked up, VGA, simple enough, that's the only thing it supports, so went with that. The CPU fan is hooked up, power to the CPU is there, power to the board is here. We're using a single stick of the 4 gig RAM, and that's pretty much it. I have the power supply plugged in but switched off. Before we do this, guys, This is literally 3 months of doing this stuff, like trying to find pieces and put it together and try to go through the holidays and shit. So 3 months down to this. Now, please don't blow up and kill me. Alright. Okay. Lights flickered a little bit, but... Okay, so far nothing blew up. Good. Now, I'm not the best at this, but I know there's a way to cross it. And I believe it is these two on the left. Again, I don't really know. So let's find out. Wait, is that... Yeah, that's it. Okay. Fans are on. Alright, so I switched out this CPU. So we do know it is touching really good, so it's not a heat issue, which I didn't figure it would be anyways. Alright, so we have the original CPU for this board. If this doesn't work, we're going to have to swap the whole board and just retry something else altogether. Which, that could have been the issue. Alright, let's jump this one. And hope it works. Come on, girl, give me something. Alright, so we hooked up the hard drive and it still didn't do anything. So all I did was take the VGA port from the video card, put it back on the onboard graphics, and we actually have something. It's actually somewhat working. So at this point, I honestly have no idea what the issue was. We changed so much now that I have no idea. Do you want to restore your computer? Like, I don't even know what's on this hard drive. That was literally one that we found. And I do have my keyboard with, but I don't have a mouse. Which is always lovely. And I don't even know if this is going to work. Can I... Ho-ho! The keyboard works! Look at that! It's marvelous when stuff starts to work. Start repair, blah 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 blah. Unable to start. Well, okay. Sure, restore. I don't know. Alright, so I had to end the video and stop filming or whatever because my battery was going dead. So it's a new day. I have done a little bit of research to try to make this work better. Firstly, we removed the graphics card. We'll try that later. I have the old VGA cable with the old monitor. So everything here now is still 100% e-waste with the exception of the mouse. Which, I'm not going to pick up an old dirty mouse from the e-waste. I'm not doing that. Even though we have an old dirty keyboard. So anyways, let's see if this monitor will work. And we'll guess we'll go from there. Alright, so we have power again. Will it show anything on our monitor? Or is that one of our problems? Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Auto config. Okay, so our monitor does work with that cable, so that's great. Fatal error, system halted. New CPU installed. Please enter setup to configure your system. What? I didn't change up the CPU. Alright, whatever. Okay, so at least we know the monitor works, and that works. I guess now would be restart and do something else. What we got here? Okay. So it's a Pentium dual core, the E5800, which is the original for that, but I guess it doesn't like it now. 3.2 gigahertz, which is a pretty decent speed. yeah, if it'll work with that CPU, we'll stick with it, even though this one might be a little bit better. I'm really not going to split hairs here for a frame faster. So, now what? Try to reset it, I guess. One single channel DDR3 1066. The memory's okay, at least. Huh. Anyways, restart, will you? Alright, so I just restarted. I know I've been cutting and going in this video like crazy, but there's a lot of stuff that is just bouncing around. But I restarted it. We now have second drive, USB, so it does recognize it, which is awesome. So we're going to change that to that. This wasn't here. First time, I assume it's where I plugged it in after we went into BIOS, which is probably stupid of me. But anyways, there is our USB, so it is picking it up. Hopefully now it will load Windows 7. And yeah, we might be able to do something with this. Save changes. Oh. See what happens. So it is flashing, so it is, you know, working like at least that much. Okay, it's Windows is loading. Sweet. Okay, so Windows 7 just finished. I'm gonna pull out the USB stick, and hopefully this now loads Windows 7 off of the hard drive. So let's see. Starting Windows, everything so far so good. This might actually work. So far we have the Windows Ultimate setup thing. So username, we're just going to call this eWaste PC. Type of password, I am not worried about a password. Product key, I do not have my product keys with me, sorry. Skip. Ask me later. We are on Atlantic time. Where is Atlantic? Where are you, Atlantic? I don't even see Atlantic time here. Oh, there it is. Okay. Finalizing. Let's see if it actually will load. I think it will. And there we have it. Windows 7 works on a eWaste computer. Now, again, I have to do updates, get drivers. I doubt we're going to be able to do that from here. I mean, I do have internet cards, wireless cards, but I don't think they'll reach out here. Like, I know my phone doesn't, but I mean, we do got a couple. I don't think there's any way to, like, strengthen the signal of these, but what do we got here? Go back. What is it doing here? Alright, what? Close that. Games! Can it play Minecraft? Minecraft. Minesweeper. What level do you want to do? 10 mines. Alright. Success! It is a gaming computer. It can play Minesweeper. But can we beat it? That's the real question, because I mean, this isn't exactly an easy game. Well, poop. Okay, go this way, this way, this way, this way. That's mine. So this one's good. This one's good. This one's only touching 2, so that one's good. That's good. That one's good. So 1, 2, 3, that'd be 4 there. That's 1. So there's 2 mines left. This one should be good. That one should be good. 1, 2, 3. So this one should be good. That's the other mine. And that's a mine. So this should be nothing. There we go. We just beat a game of Minesweeper on our eWaste computer. Perfect. Alright, so I guess now we try to get our graphics card working and yeah, go from there. So one thing I figured out is it doesn't like a second RAM stick for whatever reason. I don't know if it's the slot or if it's these ones. This one doesn't work on either slot, but as soon as I put this bigger piece back in, it works for whatever reason. We do have the wireless card in. I did see the message pop up saying that the driver is successfully installed, and it is giving us a thing for connections. And of course, Skynet and Nash. So those are my neighbors on either end of me, but of course, we don't have my internet. And I don't know how I'm going to do this, because it's not like I could just pick this up and go with it to try to get more out of it. I was hoping I'd get at least something, but... And even if I move, I can't even move my router, like... And I don't have a 400-foot cable to plug this in either. Alright, so now I've reinstalled that other stick of RAM. We know it works, we're going to stick with it now. I've reinstalled the graphics card. Hopefully it works. If not, like I say, we just gotta keep messing with it till it does, I guess. Let's see. Come on, baby, work for me. Ha-ha! It is actually going through the graphics card. Thank you. That is awesome. But now we run into the problem that I don't have a driver for this card. And it's a lot easier to just use Windows to find the driver with your own internet than it is for me to go and get a driver. But it is working. So that is another step in the right direction. And you can already obviously tell that that does not have a driver. It is ready to use. Sweet. You must restart your computer. Okay, let's restart. Alright, so I've hooked up the CD drive. I connected that SATA, whatever, simple. I've also brought out a speaker. This is one actually I used to use for my laptop. And of course I did have a cord for it to charge it, so I have my microphone that I use for Twitch, that cable, so we brought that out, and that's a big mess too. And I believe I have the driver. This graphics card, as far as I know, is a, what is it, an NVIDIA 8500 GTS or GT or GS, one or the others. It's a half gig card. It should do this. So as long as all this works, we should be able to install World at War and hopefully finally play something other than Minesweeper. Okay, monitor's on, so we didn't trip that all out. One thing I did is I also looked at this monitor. This is a 1440 by 900 monitor, so that's the resolution we're going to go with. Let this fire up, and we're getting close. It's getting exciting. This Frankenstein of whatever the hell this is, it's finally coming together. We might actually see something. Again, it would have been a lot easier. Woohoo! Well, the speaker works. Okay, the driver for this is good. Perfect. Okay, let's put in the video driver. Oh yeah, it's got to install the driver for that. Okay. looks good. Okay, right here. So I'm hoping this is the driver we need. If it is, then this should just be done, perfect, and we can install the game. Alright, so the driver installed correctly, and it fixed the way, like, the positioning of the screen. However, it doesn't list the actual resolution of this monitor is, which is 1440 by 900. We have everything from 800 by 600 to 2560 by 1600. So, here we go. Call of Duty World at War. I have so much trouble to get something like this to work. And it still might not work, I don't know. Well, let's find out. Okay, she's making a bunch of noises. Jesus. Hey, it came up. Awesome. Fingers crossed, everybody. This could be it. Okay, so far so good. It's promising. Ha ha ha! Yeah, that's right. Alright, now, we ain't playing yet, so I guess we shouldn't really get too excited, but let's install. Alright, so the game finally installed. Will it actually play? Let's find out. Come on, baby. World at War. Oh! Alright, let's do... Well, we don't have no multiplayer stuff because they're not on the internet. New game. Veteran. Nah, let's just do recruit because I'm a wimp. It's actually working. Yeah, I don't care about Japan. Private Miller. Now, the only thing is I don't have fraps put on this computer, so we're not going to know how many frames it's going to run.
Little more than sand, trees, and a small Japanese military base.
Okay, cool. Stepify. Wow, actually,
You say cause you say nothing.
it looks pretty good.
You are strong. 貴様は強くない。強情なやつめ。Don't tell him a fucking thing. 米兵どもはみんなこうなのか。
Private Pile! What kind of bullshit is this, Private Pile? Oh! Damn.
誰とも殺せ。
Shit's going down.
Go to hell.
Oh! Rated R. Alright, what are we doing?
貴様は強くない。
Yeah. That's right.
Miller, you're okay.
Yeah.
God.
Private Paul, he ain't alright though. Give me a gun. Okay.
Grab a rifle. We're gonna tear this place apart.
Alright, let's do it.
Roebuck, signal the strike team.
Okay. I can't move. Ooh, okay.
We are go. Boom, boom.
Well,
Roebuck,
I don't know what it's running for frames, but it's at least doing like 20, 30.
They're closing in. Need cover now. Fire in the hole.
How do you throw grenades? Oh, there it is. Okay.
at the ruined building. Bastards. Watch your foot. Surround us.
kicking ass, boys. I'm getting shot. It works. Perfect. So, in final whatever, the question was, can you build a gaming PC out of nothing but e-waste? Well, this is proof that you can do it. Yes, it takes a little bit of time. This project has spanned 4 months now. Well, over the course of 4 months, it's closer to 3, but whatever. Yeah, basically it's just if you can get the parts. Some stuff's not going to work. Obviously, if it's being thrown out, chances are it probably won't work. We've gone through probably 5 or 6 complete computers to build just this one. And a lot of this stuff came from like the last couple weeks where I got the heat sink, the motherboard and CPU. Like we had the graphics card or whatever, but it just depends on what gets thrown out. But you can definitely make a gaming PC. This works pretty good. That is at least running 20-30 frames a second. Probably even more. But like I say, the resolution's not all that great, being, you know, less than 720p, but who cares? It works. If you enjoyed this video, guys, give me that thumbs up. I spent a tremendous amount of time and effort on this, so if you do that, it helps me out a lot. Leave a comment down below. Subscribe for more videos. I do like doing the challenge videos because it gives me something different, you know, to try to put together. And I'm hoping to come up with some other good stuff here in the future. But we'll see what happens. But anyways, comment, like, subscribe. And as always, thank you for viewing.